Hi everybody, I was asked tonight to talk a little bit about the raid that happened on my house after January 6th. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with my story about January 6th, but I was invited into the building and then savagely beaten by officers that I surrendered to. And then after being saved by the crowd, who probably saved my life, I was continued to be beaten outside, where they said that while I was taking cover, I must have brushed my hand up against the face shield of an officer, so that constitutes felony assault on an officer facing 20 years in prison. But after that day, they claimed that I guess I can't talk about some of the discovery stuff, but let's just say that somebody was monitoring everybody who would take a ride down the street on a license plate reader placed across the street from this very building. So all of your license plates would have been picked up by that. And after their 2-year exhaustive search, where they found absolutely nothing and that I was engaged in no sorts of crimes or violent behavior or anything, they decided that at 4:30 in the morning, they would bring 2 armored vehicles in full. And as they showed up, they launched a bunch of concussion grenades outside of my windows, probably about a half dozen of them. So I woke up to very, very loud explosions outside my window. So I slapped on my pants and went running to the front door. And as I walked out my front door with my hands up, I noticed the fully armored, camo geared SWAT teams with their green dots pointed at me walking up my front steps. I asked them for a copy of their warrant and their arrest affidavit, to which they laughed at me, told me they didn't have to give it to me. They turned me around, slapped some cuffs on me. I asked them again. I told them I knew my rights and that they had to present these articles to me. They said there'd be time for that later. I told them they had to do it before they entered my house. They told me no, they didn't, and they stuffed me in the back of a vehicle. They began questioning me. They took out my girlfriend, my brother, my other roommate, and they locked them up, stuffed them in the back of vehicles as well, interrogated them for almost an hour. And then after they went through my house, they smashed down my doors while they were in there, took battering rams to reveal my closet full of old Doctor Who VHS tapes. And then they smashed down another closet door to show off my hot water heater. And then they broke down my brother's room door to reveal his mess. They took whatever they wanted. They took phones that didn't belong to me, that belonged to my roommates. And then when they didn't find everything they wanted, they figured they would go next door to my elderly dying grandfather, bang on his door before 5 o'clock in the morning and confiscate his phone. So they let themselves into his house, and then they also took my uncle, who was down at the time. They took his tablet, and they rallied up everything, and then wrote a little receipt for it and had my brother sign off on everyone else's possessions. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous. So after I was shipped off, they brought me right down here by the bus station for an interrogation. They interrogated me while I was, shackled to the floor and everything. And they had a judge waiting for me already in Marion County, so we had an appointment to get to. So after the allotted time, they said, "Look, we're running late. Better throw them in the back of the car." And they drove me out to Ocala, where they had a judge waiting for me there. They illegally took my my DNA. They swabbed the inside of my mouth. Yeah. You too, yeah. They're supposed to get your permission for that. That's a Fourth Amendment violation. You're securing your person. That's number one. Right? None of that mattered. While they had me in court, I got to flip through the paperwork for about 5 minutes before the judge came in. I saw they were holding me on a 14-day identification hearing that they wanted to hold in D.C. So I called over the prosecuting attorney. I struck a quick little deal from him that I would identify myself in the documents in exchange for them not seeking my incarceration during the trial.
Is this the FBI you're talking about?
Yeah, who's they?
Well, the FBI was a joint, the pickup itself was a joint effort between the sheriff's office and the FBI. Our sheriff, yes.
It's just our sheriff.
Yes, Pendergast had to sign off on the warrant to be executed at my house, and Citrus County Sheriff and law enforcement were on site. There was the sheriff's helicopter that came over, and he okayed everything.
Not even the same.
And not only that, but afterwards, he afterwards, they left a warrant that had absolutely nothing on it. No items to be seized, no time to be served, before 6, just a blank slate so that they could seize whatever they wanted from me, which is also another Fourth Amendment violation. And that same day, Pendergast posted a Facebook page saying that he was glad that I was off the street and another criminal down.
Yep.
Yep. And then just recently, after another January 6er was picked up in Inverness, he reiterated that another one was gone, and doubly insinuate that he was glad for my arrest as well.
What did you actually do?
On January 6th, or
January 6th.
oh, January 6th was when I must have put up my hand and touched one of them on accident while defending my head from being smashed in.
Shame on you, Jesse.
Oh yeah.
You're supposed to just let it happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, they should have killed me in that hallway, and then I could have been like Ashley Babbitt or Roseanne Boyle,
Right.
beaten to death by the cops. I mean, but thank God I survived because I was wearing a giant novelty mascot hat. Big foam panda bear head saved my life. But the sheriff has continued to dodge me and dodge questions. There were articles written about the incident in the newspaper, to which I believe he, quote, called me a goddamn liar.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Did they know you were a Trump supporter?
I'm a registered independent, always been an independent, never went out of my way to do anything.
Just curious.
Yeah,
Trump people are targeted.
just to do any of that, just to have it be continued harassment. I actually showed up at a place where Pendergast was supposed to speak, and he dodged me, left, and ran away.
Hey, Jess,
Yes,
explain to them why you had a panda head on. I told a few people, but
the panda bear head, along with the Heaven Will Destroy the CCP shirt, was in solidarity with the people of Hong Kong. I don't know if anyone paid attention to the Chinese invasion of Hong Kong, where they took a former British colony and invaded it, began killing and castrating the people there. They took apart their democratic government and locked away all of their press affiliates and all the people who ran all the independent media of the country, and have continued to pass the Hong Kong Reform Acts that take away more and more of their freedoms every day, and the government did absolutely nothing. But then Ukraine happens and we can't hold our tongues and fast enough to give them $500 billion. Sorry, I don't want to take up all your time. I know we have a good speaker
hey, Jess,
here tonight.
one more important thing.
Sure, yeah.
2 weeks or about 2 or 3 weeks after you're arrested, the drones at nighttime.
Oh, yes. I've been continued to be harassed. I've got videos of 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, them flying mysterious drone swarms over my house. So I would come out, there'd be 5 red lighted drones of taking pictures of my house at 11 o'clock at night when I'm laying down to go to sleep.
Harassing you.
It's
That's our
happened
great
on
sheriff.
multiple occasions over the weeks. Yes, sir.
One of
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
actually, the magistrate judge in Ocala,
Yep.
his name is Lammers.
He's the one who signed the thing.
And he has these gambling buses to go to Hogwarts.
I believe it. Well, let me get off the stage here from Mr. Billy, and thank everybody. I love all you guys.
Yes, Dan.
Oh, I also have a Give, Send, Go. If anybody wants to donate to my campaign to help pay John Pierce for his great legal help.
Can you